Hey, good morning, everybody. So great to be here with you. Oh,
Ruh-roh.
I guess you got to hit the unmute, don't you? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm committed to make it in here, and I figured it out. So, no, it's so great to be here with having breakfast with y'all. And so, yeah, I just, as you guys are talking, I kind of think about just like when we do set commitments, and I'll kind of the average person, for example, failure to keep a commitment and complete an agreement, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal when we don't do it. Like today, if I didn't take that one step that would have started it, or the steps that I need, if I haven't defined what those steps are and I've got this commitment to do it and it doesn't happen today, I've always got tomorrow and I've always got the next day and I've always got the next day. The thing is, though, and I know you guys have said it in here, and I've heard this forever. Your cells eavesdrop on your conversations. I may have butchered that a little bit, but y'all know what I mean, right? The way we talk to ourselves, our body hears it, and it's defining our integrity, our character, and ultimately that leads towards what successes we actually have and what failures we experience in our life. So those, when you define step one, step two, step three, to start moving towards that commitment, you don't have to know what step four and step five is, or you don't have to know how step four or step five is going to happen until you've taken step one. So those daily wins, think of them as daily triumphs of integrity, right? We're triumphing and we're moving towards our commitment. So I know there was a study at University of Scranton. They kind of did that study where it's like 8% of people who set New Year's goals actually achieve them. And you start wondering, 8%, what did the 8% do that the 92% did not do? And I guess I would just kind of leave this message with, if you are tuning in today because you saw the topic and you feel like you struggle with commitment, one of the things that I've had people do in the past is really define, and I think Elise was talking about this, your commitment, your passion, your that vision, and you really like can visualize it and see it. Write down, if you have to write down what your commitment is, write down the pros and the cons. Split the page in half. And I do this with a whole lot of things when people are struggling with like why they're not getting something done or if they should do this. So whatever that commitment is that you're not doing, determine what would your life be like on the positive side if this actually came to fruition. Write down everything good that would happen because this commitment was reached. And you could write down the negatives on the other side, the roadblocks that you're going to hit, the challenges that you might be facing along the way, and just get a visual of the pros and the cons is what I call it. Typically the pros will outweigh the cons by a ton, and it's those little cons that were kind of distracting us or knocking us off track. So write it down. And then I've said this before in so many of our rooms. Tell everyone, write it down, put it everywhere in your house. If you are not moving towards that commitment, put it on sticky notes, put it everywhere, put it on your phone, it's your screensaver. And then my favorite thing is to tell the world, man, I put stuff out that I am committed to everyone, because then I know they're looking at me, they're watching me. It's like, is he really going to do it? And it gives you another sense of commitment. If we want to put that word right back in there, you're a little more committed now when you've told people. And the best part is that your true people that care about you will ask you about it and keep it in front of you, because if they feel your passion for why you want that commitment, there's a group of people that are going to want to see you succeed. So that's my share for this morning.
I loved that, Coach Kern. Wow. Did you say only 8% of the people that sign up for gyms actually stay committed to that? That's some powerful numbers there. And I love the idea of writing it down for the pros and the cons. You know what? I don't do that. I absolutely don't do that. And I'm right now, what day is today? I don't know, it's June, was it the 3rd or the 2nd, 2022? I'm committing to starting to do that. And I think that it's important to be willing to try on new habits and new processes and new ways of being. I wanted to talk a little about that because I think that, I don't think a commitment is like really a wish. Sometimes we wish for something and we say we're committed to it, right? Or a hope or a dream. Even though that dream might mean a lot to you, it doesn't mean that that's a commitment, right? And it's not hype, right? Like, and you're saying that, you're declaring it, you're putting it out there so that it isn't hype, so that you have people that in a way are, agreeing with that commitment with you. They're putting you to your word in a way. And it isn't about loyalty, right? Like sometimes with commitment, we're committed to someone. It isn't loyalty. That's not commitment either. And it isn't self-sacrifice, out of being committed to someone. Think about it, even in relationship to your children or your family, how often are we putting ourselves in self-sacrifice? It isn't compulsion either. It can feel that way, right? Or drive. And a lot of people will say it's a drive. And yeah, well, sort of. And it is positive thinking. And it isn't all intention. Those are parts of it. Commitment, like it's an end state or goal in the future that governs your behavior in the present. That's the big deal. That's the big deal. And I say that again, commitment's the end state or goal in the future that governs your behavior in the present. And I loved what you said, Coach Korn, about, calling it out to people. And really, sticking to it. You put a stake in the ground by putting it in front of other people because you knew that would draw you forward, right? And that the nature of commitment is it does show up in your words and actions. And that's what was missing in the, I guess, 92% of people that didn't go to the gym. So, I think also, like, once you do that, you put yourself out there in that commitment, then you start getting feedback from the physical universe, from your results, right? And I think that that's really important to look at too. It's like, start looking around you the moment you commit and see how the universe starts to respond to that request, starts to, respond to that potential future that hasn't happened yet. And so thank you, Coach Korn. And with that, I'm going to